say whatever you want about what this means strategically for this war that started just under, well, but what, 10 months ago, 8 months ago?
Yeah.
How long has it been?
10.
February.
So what's really interesting is that they definitely delayed pulling out until they knew what was going on with the midterms, for sure. Russia was not chased out. It was a little more complicated than that. What Ukraine was doing was slowly corroding the Russian position in Kherson. The Russians had actually done something fairly well in that they managed to continue to supply their soldiers in Kherson when a lot of people thought they couldn't. But what they couldn't do is maintain their fighting ability. So what was happening was that the Ukrainians were trying to lose as few men as possible while just keeping the Russians in Kherson constantly under pressure, and just forcing the Russians to lose 3 men for every man they managed to kill on the Ukrainian side, just to hold a position that wasn't really worth it.
Right.
That shows the Ukrainians really think about 3 steps ahead in how they fight. They could have gone like crazy into Kherson, probably won it by assault and lost a ton of people and a ton of equipment, and then have been in a worse position later. Instead, they just forced the Russians to just grind this thing out. But bigger than that is that they forced the Russians, in effect, to negotiate to give up territory that they had annexed. Russia basically announced they were leaving, basically said, I guess we can't stay. And they basically told the Ukrainians, we're leaving. If you don't want to attack us, that would be nice. Now that's a completely different message, and a big different message from what Putin says. Putin always constantly, we are in this forever. We're never leaving. This is Russia for 1,000 years, blah, blah, blah. And then his military chief is like, no, we need to save the lives of our soldiers. We're leaving. We're going the other way.
With all that said, go ahead.
Well, what it tells you is whatever Putin says, it tells you where all of the momentum is. That the Russian military is saying, we can't hold this. By the way, they just raised 300,000 troops, and they had to give up territory anyway.